Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy update. Coming to you from the heart of Manhattan once again, and today is going to be a classic read. It's going to be a little bit different because I actually didn't bring my oracle cards just here. I mean, they are on location but far away, and I don't think that I'm going to be headed back to get them. So what I'll do is that I'll add an additional question at the end of the reading, which would be the action, the advice for each of the twins. What to do next, what is advisable here. There's a little bit of wind and I don't want to lose any more of my cards, so I think what I'll do is I'll find something to be like a paperweight for my cards. Hopefully that will help. Yeah, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna win it at this point, but yeah, let's get straight into tarot and see what's going on with those energies. Hope you guys are doing great. Just a reminder that I'm going on a long trip the week after next, and I'm gonna be traveling for 3 weeks, which means that there's a good chance that I won't be taking on personals, or probably a lot less than usual. So if you'd like to get a reading, better contact me about it this week, then there's a chance. After that, I'm not saying they won't be done, but there will be delays, and it's gonna be hard for me to commit to a specific date just because in this trip various things may happen. I do have a lot of actual travel, and at the end of the day it's my vacation time to spend with friends and family, so I'd like to take a step back from everything that I'm doing for the channel, both of my channels. So I'll definitely minimize the amount of readings and sessions that I'm doing for the rest of May. Okay, and to do a compact view just so that it's not, so I can catch the cards if they fly away. Alright, so bottom of the deck you have the Death. To me, what I'm feeling with the energies is that this is, at least at this point, it's a lot about ego death. So it's not necessarily we leave the old life behind and we start anew, although we've talked about that as well with you and with all the changes that we've been through in April. That's a kind of a logical step, but it's more about doing things differently, understanding that certain ways, certain principles were not to your highest good, were not the most healthy. So this is like taking on a different approach and just essentially revisiting, like, how can I make it better? How can I make it serve me more, right? So that it's not taking as much effort, so it's not painful. I mean, depending on the situation, of course. This is a general reading, so take this how it resonates for you. Okay, we'll get some clarifiers. The bottom of the deck here is Knight of Cups. Yeah, so expressing more love, but I'm feeling this is more towards self at this time. Like, what is the more loving choice, right? And this is where it starts, like, in terms of ascension, in terms of cleansing, in terms of learning ways of dealing with people, of being a better partner. In the brackets we're reading, like, better partner for our twin. Being in a better level partnership with our twin. We want to make sure that we take the steps, or at least we're guided to take the steps in our own right, in our own life, right? Because as that saying going, we don't necessarily, like, you can't really show that kind of highest love to somebody else if you are not ready to show it for yourself in a practical way, right? That's what we mean. That's what we mean when we say that this love is going beyond big words and promises, right? That on its own is not automatically true love, big love, right? So feminines, what do we have for you? We have the world clarified by Seven of Pentacles. So yeah, this is ending the cycle and planning something new. But planning something new on a big scale, that's what I'm getting here. Again, with the world card. Could be travel for some. I know for me definitely is, quite on the nose. But for you it could just be, you know, to me in this case I'm hearing the word adventure, like travel and adventure being synonyms, right? Like planning an adventure, which means that it's not like the level of planning where you know exactly what you're gonna do, you know how things are gonna turn out. This is a planning of like timing and, you know, list of to-do actions, things like that, assigning something to someone. No, this is a lot more adventurous in terms of I have this dream and I feel like this path is the right way to go about it. Like starting this new initiative, making these new friendships, traveling to a new place, right? Like this will be the key. This will give me some clues, right? But this doesn't necessarily mean, so this is planning in a way. This doesn't mean that you have all the steps and all the outcomes figured out. Like that's still a process. For masculines, we have Two of Swords, clarified by Five of Wands. Pretty heavy karmic energy here. I'm always drawn to the Five of Wands in this deck because it's showing like the slaying the dragon. So to me this is, and even this card is a little more heroic. More of kind of like, and I was just talking about ego death, right? Like this, to me this is ego death done. Like death card is obviously the major arcana, so it's just the push, the guidance from the guides, from the divine, and this is the implementation on the individual level, right? And it's not easy, right? It's like almost like breaking the ice or the brick wall without like industrious level kind of equipment, right? Just like with whatever you have at home. And imagine that you have a task just with what you have at home to break a brick wall, and you need to, and like essentially like you can't get to critical resources without breaking the wall. How would you go about it? Is that going to be an easy task? Unless you're in construction, unless you have the right equipment, it's not going to be straightforward. It's not going to be fast, and it's not going to be easy. So this is what the masculines are dealing with. They're breaking the wall with maybe not necessarily bare hands, but let's say even a sword. Imagine you have a sword that seems like a powerful instrument, but is it good for a brick wall? Not really. Right? So they have to be creative, they have to think of workarounds, and they need to definitely step out of their comfort zone big time. Like those things, those ways that they have kind of worked for them before, they're not working out. And it's not even up to them, it's just a fact. They're trying maybe to go about the old ways, Two of Swords here, but it just ain't gonna cut it this time. It's like going with a sword against the brick wall. It's just not gonna do the job. So they need to come up with something else, and that's the challenge, and that's what they're dealing with in their space. This is like they set in the plot twist. Additional question that we have for today is Nine of Wands, clarified by Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, this is like the dragging the heels into something, delaying something, having hesitance before making the next step. So what are the feminines hesitating about at this time? Queen of Swords, clarified by Nine of Pentacles. Cutting off anyone and anything that does not give you harmony, balance, and, you know, loving energy. And that may include, but not be limited to, your DM, right? Like basically saying no pretty harshly, right? Like I am building my boundaries, I am building my kingdom, and yes, I'm a kind, loving person, but it doesn't mean that I'm just gonna give it all away as soon as I you know, as soon as I create resources or create this harmony, it's not just like to be given away, right? Like that's not the point really. And that may be, like, it's easy to talk about it, right? Like say no, building boundaries, like come on, this is pretty straightforward, but in reality it isn't. And so there is some hesitation here, and this was someone. It could be just one person, it could be one area of life. Like maybe there is even an unhealthy habit that you don't want to give up, or you're not ready for it. Because it's been, although a crutch, but it's been serving you for certain reasons, and it just feels like too much insecurity right now to give it away. Okay, the next card is how are the feminine seen. Oh, sorry, this is what are the masculines hesitating about. 5 of Cups, clarified by Page of Swords, sending a message to reconcile, to make up, to build the new bridge, to reconnect. Yeah, you see in this specific 5 of Cups, definitely some kind of conflict between people, and I'm getting that this is with the feminine in something. If you are in connection, there is still certain disagreement, certain gap where even if it didn't cause an actual argument and breakup, masculines know that there's something unsolved there, that they've been avoiding certain issues, certain questions. But yeah, they're hesitating with the communication itself because they feel like, look at this energy, it's a page, right? It's a child, it's like somebody who's not confident. Like think, I don't know, teenagers trying to talk about something big and important with, well, let's say with their partner, right? Like I remember when you were a teen, was it easy to talk about this kind of stuff with your loved one, with your significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever? No, not at all, right? And a lot of times you'd probably avoid the communication altogether. So that's a kind of a vibe that I'm getting from masculines right now. Okay, how are the feminine seeing the connection at this time? Still doing well with the cards. 5 of Wands, so there's a sync here, and 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, so first of all, there's 5 and a 6, so that's a good progression. So there is a movement or femininity progress from being more selfish to being more giving, and kind of giving and receiving sort of reciprocity coming in, at least energetically. For some of you, of course, if you're in communication, this could be happening in actual 3D space. But this is part of it is because there isn't as much pressure for each of the twins from the outside to provide, to support, to do for like external sources, you know, for other people who are not part of the connection, right? And that meant a lot of times that the connection was laggy. And lacking attention, lacking energy, lacking resources because they were going elsewhere. So now it's more kind of like kept streamlined so that there is energy to have all those hard conversations, to go through ego deaths, to get into this ascended mode. How are the masculines seeing the connection? The strengths clarified by 9 of Cups. Oh, I was just talking about the bad habit, and to me this is like strengths of abstinence. For some, it may actually be staying away from, I don't know, being a player or having sexual relationships with other feminines. But for others, it could be just something else, like staying away from toxic patterns. And I'm getting the words trying to be good. You know, like when you keep to your diet, like you're trying to be good. It doesn't mean maybe you handled it 100% or 10 out of 10 times, but you're making your best effort. And that's what I'm feeling with this vibe here, that masculines are making their best effort with being good, being in a healthy energy. And yeah, that will mean also different needs to different people, but at least this is them staying relatively high vibe, keeping there. And this is already a very important effort, and it will be an important achievement for them. Not to fall, not to take a shortcut as soon as it's available or as soon as things get difficult, right? Like stay high vibe, keep to your path, keep to your whatever diet regimen, principles, values. What is the advice for the feminines at this time? King of Cups clarified by death. Look at that, another death, right? Like let it flow and let this happen. It looks like for the feminines, the big part of this transformation falls onto the area of feelings and emotions, right? And you can go different ways. Like you may have an urge to express emotions where you didn't have that before, or the other way around, to be less emotional with other people but process them more in words. Whatever it is, go with that guidance, go with that flow, and seek lightness and freedom. Again, apply the kindness and loving energy in whichever way you can, and like both towards yourself and outwardly towards other people. Like that will help make this transformation easier and accelerate the process. I feel that it's kind of intimidating, but you've got it. You have the King of Cups in this case, so you can do it all. Advice for masculines. Knight of Pentacles clarified by 4 of Wands. Look at that. I mean, masculines, it may not look like you're getting closer to union. You see this Knight is actually turned away from the 4 of Wands, but you are making progress and it all counts. So don't rush yourself, don't blame yourself, right? Don't feel like you're not enough or you're not doing enough. Everything is unfolding exactly in divine timing. But this card to me more than anything means steady progress. Like Knight of Pentacles is not standing still. And their biggest value or advantage is that they have the long-term goal in mind. So they may be moving slower, like in a specific moment of time, but it's more grounded, it's more strategic what they're doing, because they want this to last for a lifetime, whatever they're committing to, right? Essentially, right? And this union is gonna last for a lifetime. So it's not something that can be whipped up quickly. Just let's get it over with. Let's just get together. We'll figure it out. Respect the divine timing. And the key, and probably the most important thing that you can make, is continue taking steps. Every day, little by little, making some progress. That staying in high vibe energy that I was just talking about is like the best message that I've gotten recently for the masculines and what they are doing and the effort they're putting in. This is a big deal, so stick with it, keep going, and the universe, the divine, will definitely guide you on this, will support you, and will give you more clues and more essentially advice on where to go next or what to pay attention to. So you're on the right track, keep going. Alright, I'm gonna end it here before any of my cards get blown away. I love you guys. I hope this was helpful, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon.